tell us a little bit about epigenetics and how it is impacted in the case of children of alcoholics in this paper.
Right. So epigenetics is an understanding of how genes control the way a body works throughout life. After all, our genetics is fixed at the point of conception. But the same genetic material now has to work with different levels of efficiency or fidelity for 80 years. So genes are not static entities. We understand that, we think that we've understood the genetic code 20 years ago and that's the end of it. But that's not the end of it, because the genetic code now we have to learn how the genetic code itself is controlled.
Would I be right in saying that it may not alter your DNA,
right,
but it has an impact
right,
on your genes? It impacts the gene in a way that it performs or does not perform to its optimum.
So that's what I was coming to. So the genetic code that we are born with is going to express itself in different ways given the different kinds of environments our bodies are exposed to throughout our life. It can be as simple a thing as temperature. So our gene expression changes with the weather, or if we go to the Arctic Circle, it will react in a very different way. But all the way down, it will also react differently to nutrition and to emotional stress and to everything that goes on around us. Because all our organs are exquisitely tuned to the environment. We feel hungry, we feel thirsty, we feel happy, we feel sad, depending on our environmental cues. So the genes have to constantly interact with the environment. And the environment, therefore, has a huge role in influencing how the genes themselves are expressed. And epigenetics is a way to understand that. So with particular kinds of changes in the body or in the mind, the genes that control chemicals that influence anxiety, for example, serotonin, which is a neurotransmitter which we know controls mood, anxiety, sleep, the expression of that in critical parts of the brain may get altered by stress so that your brain does not react or changes the way it reacts to stress over time. And understanding these particular mechanisms has now become very important because we then can understand how specific pathways or specific processes in the body are altered by stress of varying kinds. So this study, we looked only at the serotonin transporter, which controls the way the serotonin is released and absorbed in the brain. And we were able to show that the methylation, so that's a change which occurs so-called upstream of the gene and regulates how the gene is going to be expressed, was altered in these children. So these are studies done in the blood, but the assumption is that if this has occurred in one tissue, it would have also occurred in the other.